Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Saratoga Racecourse here on Travers Day. It is Saturday, the 28th of August, 2021. Going to look at the stakes races on the program, including the Travers. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Let's look at the stakes action: races 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Did you get that? Races 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the feature 12th race, which is the Midsummer Derby, the Travers. But let's get to the 4th race. It is the Ballston Spa Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse of $400,000. Race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 6 horses heading to the inner turf course, the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, if you want to go with that, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Saratoga inner turf course. 1,700 meters, mile 16th. Portable rail are out at 9 feet. Top selection, I'm going to go with the number 6 horse here, who is Californian Queen. We'll go 6-2-5-3 in the superfecta. 6-2-5-3 super. Top selection to the 6 horse Californian Queen. 4-year-old filly by Lupe de Vega. Chad Brown trains 1. Flavion Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 17th of July at Monmouth. Mile Nathan, the Grade 3 matchmaker. And the horse finished second by a half length. He sat back early, a little bit wide, but really had a strong turn of foot late. There was nothing bad about that race. Since they put the blinkers on the horse has become a lot better runner, and I think today, coming to Saratoga, speed favoring turf course, can show some speed if she wants to. She did a little bit in her early on in career in Germany. If she wants to show it again today, I think she could do wonders on this turf course. But also, she's versatile. She comes like behind, like she did 2 back in optional 80 at Belmont on mile 16th, 13th of June, winning by 1 1/4 lengths. First start with blinkers, a little bit wide, but when she got the turn of foot, she got the job done very, very easily. And then prior to that, the Bewitch at Keeneland, 1.5 miles on the 23rd of April, she finished 4th by 4 1/4 lengths there. And, she was a little bit wide, never quickened up to her full potential, but never weakened out of it. She was running willingly there. And then her North America debut at Gulfstream, mile 3/16 in the very one. The horse finished 6th by 2 3/4 lengths there, and was stupidly wide throughout. I think the horse probably needed the race also there. Her races in Europe were okay, but she just wasn't doing that well on the very soft ground. When she saw quick ground in Europe, she really ran a lot better. Probably going to see quick ground again today. At 2-1, let's use her. To recount my selection for the 4th from Saratoga, it's the Ballston Spa. Let's take the 6 horse California Queen. We'll go 6-2-5-3 in the superfecta. Let's get to race 7. Race number 7, it is the Ballerina Handicap. It's a Grade 1 event going for a purse of $500,000. Race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground of 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs here in the Ballerina. 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs. My top selection here, we're going to go take a shot with the number 7 horse CC. We'll go 7-5-1-3 in the superfecta. 7-5-1-3 super. Top selection 7 horse CC. This 5-year-old mare by Elusive Quality. Michael McCarthy trains 1. Victor Espinosa gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 3rd of July Gulfstream. 7 furlongs in the Princess Rooney. And the horse went by 3 1/4 lengths there, and basically had, a little bit of a dream trip that day. A little bit wide, but I think she likes being a little bit wide. But when she got the lead, she quickened up nicely, earning an NDA buy. That was her best buyer as of recently, and really showed a lot of form there. 2 back at Santino, mile 16th in the Grade 2 Santa Maria. She finished 4th by 10 1/4 lengths. I thought she was overbet that day, and just around 2 turns, she just doesn't do her best running. She didn't break it that well either, to add insult to injury. Not her day to win. And then prior to that, on the 17th of April at Santino, 7 furlongs and off 6-2, winning by 3 1/4 lengths to return to the races. Sat back early, slowly moved her way up, and she got the job done. Never really getting to the bottom of the horse against a very lower quality field there. Before that, they ran her in the Brews Cup Distaff last season, a mile and 8th at Keeneland, where she finished 5th by 4.5 lengths there. She was very wide and just not excelling around the 2 turns. Like I said, she looks like she's more of a 1-turn, 7 furlong horse. Coming here with regular rider Victor Espinosa up, training well at Del Mar. I love her a lot at 4-1. Let's use her. The 5 horse Wisconsin wouldn't surprise me if she gets a good run. Her most recent race in the Roxolana at Keeneland, I thought she had a very good place there, and before that she won the winning colors at Churchill very, very easily in a decent place before that against Gamine. If there's going to be a pace meltdown, it wouldn't surprise me at 9-2 if she gets a good trip, and we'll definitely use her in this late pick 6 here, not the late pick 6, the only pick 6. But to recap my selection for the 7th from Saratoga, it's Ballerina Handicap. Let's take the 7 horse CC, give kudos to the 5 horse Wisconsin, 7-5-1-3 super, 7-5 in the multi race. And you're thinking, I'm not using Gamine? No, I'm not. Let's go to the 8th race from Saratoga. The eighth race from Saratoga, it is the Forego Stakes. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse $600,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses going to the main track again. The distance of ground of 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the Saratoga main track. 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs in the Forego. Named after a horse that won, basically everything from 6 furlongs or 7 furlongs to 2.5 miles. He won a few jockey clubs at the 2-mile trip. He won, I believe, I want to say the Carter Handicap at 7. He won, the Suburban jockey, all these big races at a Varia trip. But my top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 4 horse, Mind Control. We'll go 4-7-2-1 in the superfecta. 4-7-2-1 super. Top selection, 4 horse, Mind Control. 5-year-old horse by Stay Thirsty. Top Pledger trains. John Velasquez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 4th of July at Belmont, 7 furlongs in the John Nehru Stakes. And the horse went by head that day, and he kind of stalked all the way around the racetrack, a little bit wide, but when he got the lead, he showed up to a very, very nice victory and fought a good race home. It was the first start with the Pletcher barn, and he really jumped a lot. Coming here second off the bench, training well here at Saratoga, and loves running here at Saratoga. I think this race could really suit up towards him from a stalking position. 2 back here in the Churchill Downs Stakes at Churchill, 7/8 of a mile on the 1st of May. He finished 7th by 3.5 lengths there, and he was on the inside, which I don't think is his best position. He likes being a little bit wide, and, he just was never comfortable there. And then prior to that, the Carter Handicap at Aqueduct, 7 furlongs, 3rd of April, first off the bench, finished 2nd by 5.5 lengths. Sat back early, a little bit of a turn of foot, but mischievous Alex just basically had everything his own way on the front end. And then prior to that, the Mr. Prospector at Goldstream, 7 furlongs on the 19th of December, a race in 2020, which really showed up well. Good quality horses. He finished 3rd by 3.25 lengths. He was drawn stupidly wide, but really was gaining some ground late. I didn't think it was a half bad race from where he was drawn 12 of 12. But before then, Lafayette at Keeneland, he ran horribly, never really keeping up. But he likes this track here at Saratoga. He won the Alan Jerkens 2 seasons ago on this day, and he basically ran in the Forego last year, but right before post, it was a deluge of rain, and the slop really got to him. Finished 8th by 10.75 lengths, but prior to that, he finished a very good 3rd place, finishing the Vanderbilt, and before that, like I said, he won the Allen Jerkens. He's a decent horse, has some hidden form. Training well since coming to the Pletcher barn. At 7-2, I like him a lot. The 7 horse Chopin wouldn't surprise me if he goes wire to wire, and in the race of Pimlico, 6 furlongs on the 4th of July in the black type, he won by 1 3/4 lengths in 109-2, returned to the races. That was a very easy race from there. They're in the Golden Shaheen before that, where he really never showed some speed off the bench, and he really never showed anything where he was overbet in the British Cup Sprint last year, but won the Chick Lang very easily last season, won the Amsterdam over this track very easily last season, and then won a lounge race here even easier. He's shown he can run when he gets a good pace, when he breaks well and isn't lackadaisical like he can be at times, like a Keeneland and Maidan. But coming here off the bench at 5-2, we're going to use him, or second off the bench. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Saratoga, it's the Forego. Let's use the 4 horse Mind Control. Give kudos to 7 horse Yopan, 4-7-2-1 super, 4-7 in your multi race to the 9th now. The 9th race from Saratoga, it is the Alan Jerkens Memorial. It's grade 1 event going for a purse $500,000. Races for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 6 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground of 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the Saratoga main track. 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs here in the Alan Jerkens, formerly known as the King's Bishop. My top selection here, we're going to go take the number 6 horse, Life is Good. We'll go 6-2-4-1 in the superfecta. 6-2-4-1 super. Top selection of 6 horse, Life is Good. 3-year-old Colby Into the Mischief. Top Pletcher trains this one. Mike Smith comes in to ride this horse. Previously trained by Bob Baffert. Can't speak today, pardon me, haven't had enough coffee. But Bob Baffert previously trained this horse, and his most recent outing came on the 6th of March at Santanita, mile 16th in the grade 2 San Felipe, and the horse won by 8 lengths. And on the front and all throughout, this horse just won for fun and was drifting late, but didn't really matter because he ran the race of his life. An all-around good run, beating your eventual Derby winner, Medina Spirit there. Coming here off the bench, back to 7 furlongs, not the world's toughest trip for him, training well. I think he really run a good race, and I don't even think he needs to lead in this one. I think from a strong position, he can really run well. 2 back ran on the 2nd of January at Santanita, 1 mile in the grade 3 Sham, winning by 3/4 length, and again from wide post dry and not the best beginnings, he got the job done, even though he was drifting late. He was just a little bit green there. And then prior to that, Del Mar, 6.5 New England special weight, 57,000, winning by 9.5 lengths, and again, he just cruised around very, very easily. An all-around good race. He was getting better with every single race. Then he had a slight injury. Back to the Pletcher barn here today at 8-5. I think he should really run well. But don't throw out the 2-horse here, Jackie's Warrior. When they route this horse, it just does not do good around 2 turns. But when they sprint him, he does very well. He won the Amsterdam very, very easily a few weeks ago, earning a career best 102 buyer. Before then, the Woody Stevens he placed that day behind Drain the Clock, where he just, if he would have broke just a tiny bit better, he probably would have won. But still ran decently there. And then won the Pate Mile even easier. But when they tried him 2 turns in the Southwest and the Breeze Cup Juvenile, he just wasn't getting into it. He loves this track. He's 3 for 3 over it. At even money, he's another horse you have to use in the slate pick 6 or pick 4, whatever you want to call it. But to recount my selection for the 9th from Saratoga, it's the Alan Jerkens Memorial. Let's take the 6-horse Life is Good. Give kudos to the 2-horse Jackie's Warrior. 6-2, 4-1 Super, 6-2 in your multi-race. Let's get to the 10th, which is an interesting one. Race number 10 from Saratoga. It is the Personal Ensign Stakes. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse $600,000. Race for fillies, mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses heading to the main track. 1 lap around it, which is 1,800 meters around, or 1 1/8 on the Saratoga main track. 1,800 meters, 1 1/8 here in the Personal Ensign. My top selection, we're going to go take the number 5 horse here, Royal Flag. We'll go 5-4-6-3 in the superfecta. 5-4-6-3 super. Top selection of 5 horse, Royal Flag. 5-year-old mare by Candy Ride. Trav Brown trains this one. Joel Rosario gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 25th of July here at Saratoga. Mount 8th in the grade 3 Chuvy. And the horse went by 3/4 length and basically circled the field that day. Sat back early, was stupidly wide around both turns, and even the second turn. That was where he was stupidly wide. But he had a great turn of foot, and he got the job done. But he was drifting a little bit late. First off the bench, maybe just wasn't 100% cranked up. But coming here from an inside poster today, hopefully doesn't drift. I think the race could suit up for her again. 2 backs ran the double dog there at Keeneland, a mile 16th on the 16th of April. The horse finished second by a head. Those mile 16th races at Keeneland tend to be more towards speed, but this last few meetings at Keeneland, the speed hasn't been holding up, especially in the spring. So closers were doing well. She closed up from nowhere. She nearly got there late, but she still ran her out there. And then prior to that, the turn back the Alarm Handicap at Aqueduct, mile 8th on the 7th of November, winning by 2 length from a stalking position. She got the job done very, very nicely. And then before then, the Lady Secret at Monmouth, mile 16th, 7th of October. She finished second by a nose, and again from a stalking position, she still ran decently. She likes this track here. She's always run these good races. She might have to jump a few buyer points, but I think the race could suit up towards her. At 10-1, we're going to use her. Don't throw out the 4-horse Swiss Skydiver. She really, she missed some training with before that Whitney, and Superme did pick her there. And plus she wasn't going to, in hindsight, she just wasn't going to beat the boys and that Whitney after missing training. But coming here with some, better training and nothing really screwed up where she's stuck in a barn for a few weeks, I think she could really run a good race. But she hasn't been the same as a 4-year-old like she was as a 3-year-old, where she was basically winning everything and running the race for her life like she did last year in the Alabama and then in the Preakness. But at 7-2, we're going to use her on the multi-race ticket. And don't throw out the 6-horse Letruska either, but I don't think she'll get an easy lead like she did in her last few races at Belmont and the Florida Lays. I think she's going to have some pressure up front, and wouldn't surprise me if she gets beat today. We'll use her as an insurance play, but I'm not very confident in her. I'm more confident in the other 2. But to recap my selection for the 10th from Saratoga, it's the Personal Ensign. Let's take the 5-horse Royal Flag. We'll go 5-4-6-3 in the superfecta, 5-4-6 in your multi-race to the co-featured 11th race. The 11th race from Saratoga, it is the Sword Dancer Stakes. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse of $750,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going to the inner turf course, the distance of ground of 2,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 1.5 miles on the Saratoga inner turf course. 2,400 meters, 1.5 miles here in the Sword Dancer. My top selection, we're going to go take the number 1 horse, Tribavon. We'll go 1-6-2-7 in the superfecta, 1-6-2-7 super. Top selection, 1 horse, Tribavon. This 5-year-old gelding by Tornado. Chad Brown trains this one. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came in the UN at Monmouth, the mile 3/8 on the 17th of July, winning by 2 lengths on the front and all throughout from a wide post draw. He just cruised around, earning a 102 buyer, his second best this stateside. An all-around good race. Coming here to Saratoga, very speed-favoring turf course. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes wire to wire again. Two back here in the Manhattan Handicap at Belmont. I'm on the quarter, 5th of June, and he finished second by 2 3/4 lengths there. He sat on the front end early on from wide post draw. He got caught late by domestic spending, but he didn't go down without a fight. I still thought he ran decently. Keep in mind, he did win extra out, and the third place finisher Gufo won extra out in the Grand Courtier at Belmont. And then prior to that, the horse ran the Fort Marcy at Belmont, a mile and 8th on the 1st of May. The horse won by 1/2 lengths there. Speed favoring turf course, again on the front and all throughout. First start as a gelding. It was a very good run. Prior to that, he ran the 4th of July at Belmont, a mile 16th and optional 6-2, where he won by a nose and closing up from nowhere. He got the job done there. And then in last year's Fort Marcy of 2020, he broke a rein, had to be pulled up. But, stateside, he's running decently, and ever since they gelded him, he's become a lot better horse. I like him a lot over the mile and a half. Flavian Pratt back on him. 2-1. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes wire to wire. Your second likeliest winner with class reliefs is 6-horse Japan. Most recently in the Meld Stakes at Leopardstown over the mile and 8th, he won by a nose. The trip was a little bit too short, but he got the job done in the nick of time. And then before that, he ran a decent, not so decent race in the Hardwick on very soft ground. He likes running on fast ground that he's going to see today. 9-2, wouldn't surprise me if he gets a piece fit. And, don't throw out the 2-horse Gufo. He really ran a good race at Belmont most recently in that Grand Courtier, and he's a mile and a half horse through and through. He won the Belmont Derby over a mile quarter last year. Came back to win that Grand Courtier at the over the mile and a half last time out, and ran a very good race before that Belmont, the Man Award. 3 back. At 3-1, we'll use him in the multis, but to recap my selection for the 11th from Saratoga, it's the Sword Dancer. Let's take the 1-horse Tripavon, give kudos to the 6-horse here, Japan, and the 2-horse Gufo, 1627 Super, 162 in your multi-race. Let's get to the Midsummer Derby, the 12th race from Saratoga. Race number 12 from Saratoga. It is the Travers Stakes. It's a Grade 1 event going for a purse of $1.25 million. Race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 7 horses going the classic trip of ground of 2,000 meters or the distance of ground of a mile and a quarter on the Saratoga main track. 2,000 meters, a mile and a quarter here in the Travers. My top selection here, we're going to go to the rail to the 1-horse Midnight Bourbon. We'll go 1-2-5-4 in the superfecta. 1-2-5-4 super. Top selection 1-horse Midnight Bourbon. This 3-year-old colt by Tisnow. Steve Asmussen trains. Ricardo Santana Jr. gets the mount. Most recently, they ran the horse 17th of July at Monmouth, the mile 8th in the Haskell. And the horse didn't finish the race. He clipped heels with Hot Rod Charlie in the stretch and went down. Scary incident. He came fine out of it. But, he just was kind of hitting. It looked like he was either hitting the wall late or just, trying to find his stride. It was a very weird run for him there, but coming here to a mile and a quarter, which I think is his preferred trip, I think he really ran a good race. 2 back here in the Preakness at Pimlico, mile 3/16 on the 15th of May, and he finished second by 3.5 lengths. He showed some speed early on that day. He stalked a little bit wide. He got taken over by Rumbauer, who closed up from nowhere to win that day, but this horse, he really ran his heart out there, earning a 96 buyer, and then prior to the Kentucky Derby at Churchill, mile and a quarter, 1st of May, he finished 6th by 8 1/4 lengths, and I would like to see him a little bit closer that afternoon. He didn't break that well, was a little bit wide, moved a little bit late, but it wasn't anything spectacular there. And then prior to that, in Louisiana Derby at the Fairgrounds, mile 3/16 on the 20th of March, he finished second by 2 lengths there. He just kind of stalked all the way around the race course and couldn't quicken up like Hot Rod Charlie did, who won very easily. And then prior to the Risen Star at the Fairgrounds, mile 8th, he finished 3rd by 1 3/4 lengths. And again, he was just a little lackadaisical. He could get that way sometimes. Before that, though, in the LeComte at Fairgrounds, mile 16th in mid-January, winning by a length on the front and all throughout, he really beat a good group of horses home. So when he's on his game, he wins for fun. I like him over the longer trip. He's training well since the Haskell. 9-2, let's use him. You can't throw out the Belmont winner elusive quality or essential quality either. He won the Jim Dandy back off the bench from in the here at Saratoga most recently, and then before that in the Belmont, winning by 1 1/4 lengths. It was a very, very good run. He had a little bit of a horrible trip though in the Derby where he didn't break well and was a little bit wide. But other than that, he's been a pretty perfect horse at 4-5, training well. you have to use them on the ticket also. But we are at the midnight, at the what do you call that? The graveyard of favorites. So you have to go somewhere else sometimes too. And I think Midnight Bourbon looks like he could be on the up and up. So we'll use him as a top selection. But like I said, not throughout essential quality. But to recap my selection for the 12th from Saratoga, it's to run Happy Travers. Let's take the 1 horse Midnight Bourbon. Give kudos to the 2 horse essential quality. 1, 2, 5, 4 super. 1, 2 in your multi race. So good luck to 'em. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.